this is so good. Thank you so much. Hello everyone. Gracias everyone. Thank you. I don't know how you passed last week, but it was quite hard and quite like exhausting, too much about a lot of different things. And today, like recovering, recovering memory, recovering what's going on, how to play, what to do, the new plans, how you feel. Are you doing the same today? Today, actually, starting better time, better period for startups, for any projects, and more easier, because before it was like the spices sign, and it was like you are in a swamp and you're trying to take it out, and all of the stuff was going so slowly, so hard. And yes, now is much easier gonna be. So if you have some projects ideas, you can start implementing them right now. Like those 2 weeks ahead, they are quite good. So use this time, especially after 5th of May, really is much better. Yeah. And yes, we passed very hard period, so finally we are on the way to goals. So I think I will continue learning the my beautiful Dario Marinelli, and if you want you can stay, or like in a few minutes I think so I will gonna finish this leave. So have a good week and weekend as well after. And yes, time starting much better now. Starting, yeah. So what? Quanto rola studios decide just como Mexico. Okay, ma perdona, but I don't understand. Pas comprendre, comprendre. Je n'ai pas comprendre. Je n'ai pas compris. Hola, guys. So thank you so much for being with me. Have a good day and good week, and see you. I also want to share a little my happiness and win. Yesterday I finished 5 months marathon with the, like my students and my clients, and some of them part of the students and part of them clients, and just I'm so happy and so exhausted, tired, because it was really hard, because that time it was so hard period, last 5 months, with this retro Mars, retro Venus, retro Mercury's eclipse, sun, moon, oh my god, so much stuff. And this is why I did this also marathon, to help to recover people and to help them to get goals, to achieve the goals which they want. And it was really amazing, and like I'm so wow. I did it. And we came to the finish with this marathon with all of the amount of people since we start. So this is also is important, that nobody like a stop on the middle, as usually happening with the marathons. So I'm very glad, and yes, I got my goal and I got my new like level working, and really I'm happy to share it with you, and I'm wishing you to start your any projects you have, good projects started during these 2 weeks ahead, and really they're gonna goes much easily than mine, but you will gonna get your results definitely. So have a good week, and bye bye. I'm already in weekend. Bye bye, and thank you being with me, and thank you for likes, and thank you. See you. Bye.